What's holding you back from doubling your price point? Doubling it.
The doubt of the client seeing the value of it. I'm not an analytical person, period. I have one person on my team that gathers the analytics and sends it off to the person. I do a really good job of establishing the goal for the client and saying, hey, what is your goal for this content? Like, what are you trying to get to? Whether that's closing more deals. One of my clients, he wants to get on more stages to get paid to speak. So like we achieve those goals and I stay locked in on that. But I don't know. One of the biggest things is that specifically is like I can see. So I'm a purebred entrepreneur, and if you've talked to me for the last hour, you probably realize this. It's like I see A to Z. I don't see anything in between. I just realized this the other day. Somebody told me that. It's like, Josh, when you talk to you, it's like you talk about A and you talk about Z. There's nothing in between there. There's no like meat between the buns. And so that's how I am. So I will get you started, and then all I'm shooting for is that end result, and getting those conversions, whatever that means for the content for the clients, and then anything in between. I'm blind to it, and I don't know how to see those analytics. So some of the clients, they like to look at like impressions, they look at views on videos, and likes and comments and shares, and I call those vanity metrics. And the reason being is because I've had clients that I've worked with before, they got 100,000 views on a video, but they didn't have any conversions. And so I tell them like that's the important thing. So I guess like the only thing that I think would be standing in the way of raising my prices would be the client seeing I would say a new client seeing the value of paying more. So they're like, oh, you're going to raise your price to $4,000 a month. What am I going to get for that? And then trying to explain that to them in the best way I can. I guess I just don't know how to craft that message to them. I don't know. I'm all over the place with this. I don't have like a straight line of thinking with this, but you might be able to see where I'm going. So that's like, you get what I'm saying?
I love this conversation. So I'm going to give you the why conversation that you can play with your next client. So it's why this, why now, and why me? But why do you want to use this, Scott? Why do you want this type of content, Scott? And shut up. Don't say a word. Let them spew. Then you say, well, why do you want to do this now? Let them spew. And then lastly, why me? It's a gazillion other people out there that can do this for half the price, if not cheaper. Why me? Just listen. They will give you the value. You don't need to give it to them. Like, you don't need to come up with it. They will give it to you when they answer those questions. And then there's the Dan Sullivan question. Are you familiar with it?
Okay. I know Dan Sullivan, but I don't know the question.
This has closed over $1 million worth of business for me. This one question. Say you and I are working together over the next year, and it's a year from today, and I'm sitting downtown Chicago with you, and we're having some coffee and breakfast, and we're just looking back over the past year, and you are so happy with how far you've come. What's happened in your life, both personally and professionally, to make you say, wow, the best investment I ever made was in you? And now you shut up and you let them talk. They will paint the picture for you. Then you say to them, okay, so now let's talk numbers. What's one client worth to you right now? What's one deal worth to you right now? What do you want to do in the next year in revenue? And then you say, okay, what percentage would you invest in to help you get to that mark. And then they say, so let's say they want $1 million. Let's talk those numbers. It's easy numbers.
Yeah.
Say, all right, I'll invest 10%. Okay, so you're willing to invest 10% to bring back and return $1 million. Do you think that's a fair proportion? They're going to say, probably not.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, well, typically my clients will spend 20 to 30% of what they're trying to gain to help them get to that point. They just gave you what they're willing to pay. Now you've just 100x'd what you just are charging today.
Wow.